Ryan, let's see. He says, I've been contacted by a salesperson to do some content marketing with the following site. Okay. The gist of the campaign, I guess, is what they will take existing content that is already hosted on my site and curate the content and host it on their site for SEO traffic. I got the curated version of the content and noticed that the article isn't altered much at all, other than changing words to past tense and swapping out some words using synonyms. So basically, they spun it a bit. My question is this legit SEO practice? It feels like cheating Google or trying to trick Google. How does this site rank articles to get SEO traffic when their URLs are defined by parameters? In other words, they're not pretty links. Is there any value of having people read your content on other domains that you can't capture leads, data, remarket? Still can't grasp the concept of having people read content on someone else's domain. All right, the only thing, and I'd love to get some comments from my partners on this as well, but the only thing I could see would be of any value of doing that would be for the backlinks if they're properly citing the source. In other words, if this website that curates, in air quotes, they curate content and all they're doing is republishing your articles, if they're attributing, giving, proper attribution, so they're citing your website as the original source and they're giving you a backlink, I could see that possibly having some value. You'd have to check though, the domain metrics, the relevancy, all of that. But that's the only thing that I could see. The only benefit that I could see. In fact, the fact that they're just basically taking your article and spinning it a little bit and then republishing it is, in my opinion, would throw up a red flag. I would avoid doing it altogether. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Well, unless they are writing the domain, unless, as you correctly stated, unless they are citing the source, like leaving a live backlink, even if it's not a live backlink, even if it is www.domain.com, that counts as a citation as well, So because Google will actually input that domain, even if it's not linked, it doesn't carry the same amount of link juice, and you need to be constantly surrounded by authority content and on an authority context, if you would, like for example, doctors or scientists that they do not have a website, etc., but they are their names are being put on papers, etc. For example, on Google Scholar, those guys, those names become influencers at some point, and the same happen. That's the Internet of Things. That's what we call semantic mastery, because when you start having your domain, even if it's not linked, but surrounded by other authority domains, you start, robbing some of that authority as well. Even again, if it's not linked, if it's linked, way better. But that has to be natural, and that has to be done in a massive way, if you would, for it to get any insights or any to noticeably affect your rankings, if you would. So I don't think I would do that. If anything, I would just try to curate the content, as Bradley was saying, but in a more curated way, not only changing the verbs to past tense. That doesn't cut it.
Because
if you're doing, go ahead.
I just want to jump in real quick, guys, because remember, when you curate content, you don't change the content from the source that you're curating. You don't change it, because then you're not curating. Then you're spinning, and that's bad. That's a no-no. Like, I don't use spun shit to link to anything at like any sort of money site, right? When curating, guys, you're supposed to grab a piece of content and not alter it in any way, because if you alter it, now you're actually plagiarizing, right? Because you're changing content and rewording it, and then treating it as if it's your own. Or if you're citing the source and it's different, then that's not the same either, right? So you shouldn't be altering the content at all if you're curating. And if these guys are just spinning your content and republishing, to me it seems like they're just stealing your damn content. So
not only that, the canonical points to their domain, not his.
Yep.
And so it's just totally grabbing what he produced. As you said, it's spun content. The metrics are great. So unless he's getting a link, but what I'm seeing is the interlinking and everything is to their own. They do a great job of interlinking, but if they're linking out to you and I mean, Google, the one thing that they're really good at is picking out spun content.
Yeah.
And this can get you in a lot of trouble, especially since the canonical is pointing to their page and not yours.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
and again, it should be your original piece that you wrote posted on their website saying this article originally appeared, da 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 da, and that takes care of everything with the canonical going over to your website. I mean, that's the way that it should be properly done. If not, then the only ones that are benefiting from this
Is
is
them.
them. They're making it look like your article isn't the original article and that you actually spun. Because they have actually more trust and authority than you do. So
Yeah, I mean, without doing more research, Ryan, on it myself, I would suggest against it. Like, you're going to get contacted, guys, by promising, things that sound promising all the time. Now that you guys are, if you're in the digital marketing space, it's going to happen. You're going to get contacted. We get contacted all the time. Semantic Mastery does, about, like, with all kinds of, like, just scammy shit that sounds promising, but when you do some real investigation, you find out that it's all. It's most of it is bullshit, right? And it's way to find. Because they contact guys, they do this. It's a numbers game, right? They blanket out these sorts of sales messages, and inexperienced people that don't know any better will think, "Oh man, this sounds awesome," and they'll do it. Well, guess who? There's only one entity that benefits from that, and that's the company that solicited for the salespeople to do that, right? Does that make sense? Most people aren't going to benefit from that, because a lot of the times, like what Marco just looked at the site, and he's looking at the canonicals and internal linking. They're benefiting, but I don't see how, Ryan, your site is benefiting at all. And that's what I'm saying is, we turn down those kind of offers all the time. I used to actually look at a lot of them, but then I realized that 99% of them are just bullshit offers that aren't going to benefit us in any way. And unsuspecting people will think, "Oh man, that sounds awesome," and then they'll do it, and then all they end up doing is promoting or improving the other company's assets and reducing their own. Okay, so I recommend against it, but without any further research, I can't speak exactly to it, but I don't think that I would do that.